So you want to read more, but you also have hobbies. You know, like baking, gardening, making oddly specific playlists you'll probably never listen to. Or maybe you're like me, and you've somehow decided it's totally reasonable to balance reading with making YouTube videos, planning a novel, planning travel, and trying to keep plants alive. Reading is something I love, but it's not the only thing I love. And I think that's true for a lot of people. So here's where it gets tricky. For some reason, reading comes with a weird kind of pressure. It feels like you need to hit a certain number of books a year, or follow rules, or create a goal, or constantly be working through a reading list that grows faster than you do. And when reading starts to feel like something you're failing at instead of enjoying, that's when it stops happening at all. So let's talk about that. Today, I want to help you make space for reading in your life again. Not by adding pressure or setting unrealistic goals, but by giving you permission, a bit of inspiration, and then, if you want it, some practical ideas too, because you can absolutely make time for reading while juggling other hobbies. Alright, let's get something straight early on. Reading doesn't have to be your whole personality. If you've got other hobbies you love or things that already fill up your time, great, keep doing them. This video isn't about replacing your life with a stack of books and a reading spreadsheet. It's about making space for reading to exist alongside everything else you already enjoy. Because sometimes reading will be your main thing. You'll be in a groove, knocking out books, feeling like a reading machine, and other times you'll be deep into a sewing project, a gaming binge, or a DIY itch you need to scratch. And reading won't really happen. That doesn't mean you're not making enough time for reading. It just means you have a life. Even now, reading is one of my absolute favorite things. But I'm also planning a book, making videos, planning future travel, and trying to remember to water my plants. Some months, reading gets most of my time. Other months, it takes a backseat, and that's fine. You don't need to give up your other hobbies. You don't need to change your whole routine. You're just adding something in. A chapter here, a page there, a book you're genuinely excited about instead of one you feel that you're obligated to finish. We're not aiming for perfection, we're aiming for something that fits you. Okay, so let's just say reading hasn't really been happening lately. Or maybe you've been trying to make it happen, but every book you pick up just sits there, mocking you. First of all, normal. This happens to all of us. Life gets busy, attention spans disappear, or maybe you're just not finding books that click. So instead of forcing yourself to push through a book that you're not feeling, we together are going to make reading feel exciting again. Forget the pressure to read what's popular, what's been on your shelf the longest, or what someone on TikTok said was life-changing. Forget the guilt-tripping book pile. What do you want to read right now? Or maybe you're not in the mood for fiction at all. Maybe what you need is something useful, a book that will help you with something in your life, something that offers clarity or motivation or makes you feel a little bit more understood. There's no rule that says your reading has to be deep or literary. If a cozy fantasy, a fun romance, or a graphic novel gets you excited, that's the right book. And if that's too vague, here are some things you can try. Read something you loved as a kid but would also suit you right now. When I first got back into reading after a 10-year slump, I read a young adult book about the Fae. It was so much fun, it literally jump-started my reading again, and here we are. Go to a bookshop and buy a book. Wander around, read a few blurbs, look at the covers, and don't buy anything until you get that excited feeling in your tummy, Marie Kondo style. You need to be excited and get home and start reading immediately. And if you're someone who likes a little external motivation, try pulling someone else into it. You don't need a formal book club, just a friend who's also trying to read more. Or a Discord server, a subreddit. Even following a couple of bookish creators online can make reading feel less solitary and more social. So if you need that right now, come join my Discord. I'd love to have you there. It's easier to stay really excited about reading when it doesn't feel like something you have to do alone. Even if you only read like 5 pages a week, even if it takes you 2 months to finish a book, if you're enjoying it, that's a win. So, how do you actually make time for reading? Here's the honest answer. You don't need a perfectly structured routine. You don't need a reading hour blocked off in your Google Calendar. You just need a few quiet moments in your day where reading can slot in. We're not talking hours of uninterrupted silence while you sip herbal tea under a weighted blanket, though let's be real, that does sound lovely, and it's totally something I do. We're talking about small, realistic moments. Maybe it's 10 minutes in the morning before your phone pulls you into the chaos. a few pages before bed, a lunch break where you put your headphones in and escape for a while, a few pages on a Sunday afternoon when nobody else is around. You can also pair reading with other things you already do. Audiobooks are amazing for that. You can listen while you cook, while you walk, while you're repotting a plant or folding laundry. Audiobooks fit into time you've already got. They're also great for double stacking your hobbies. So you could listen while doing a jigsaw, knitting, colouring, or drawing. You get it. And if you've never tried them, this might be the moment to give them a go. You can borrow audiobooks completely free through your library and apps like Libby or BorrowBox. Or if you want to support independent bookstores, I use Libro FM and I've got a code in the description if you want to try them out. So no, you don't need a perfect routine, a book a week challenge, or a candlelit reading nook, although that sounds nice. You just need something that fits you. Start small. You've got time, even if it doesn't feel like it yet. Okay, so after watching this, how do you think you'll fit reading into your life alongside your other hobbies? Or if you already do, leave your tips in the comments for everybody else who's trying to give it a go. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time for another video.